Hello and welcome to CKE 10,001's gaming channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my Weiss Schwarz Bofuri Sally and Maple deck profile. I believe there are some utility cards that aren't, like 2 copies of the Tutor and 2 Cloud Swappers with 4 cards that aren't Sally or Maple. Oboro is part of Sally, so we'll just say that's her. So yeah, alright, so we'll start with little zeros. 3 copies of it, and I guess I should lead off with this deck is also kind of the extra cards that I had left over to put into a deck. So yeah. So I'm running 3 copies of the Brainstormer's Focus Sally. At the beginning of your main phase, you can look at the top card of your deck and put it on top of your deck or into the main room. And it's a Brainstormer for draw, but it's a Sally card. So I'm running it at 3. 2 copies of Face of the Game Maple. On play, you can discard a climax to salvage character, and on play, you can also pay 2 to salvage character. 1 copy of Tranquil Waters Maple. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a card. If you do, reveal top card of your deck, and then salvage a character, which is level X. X equals to the reveal card. Level of reveal card. 2 copies of Maxing Out Sally. When your character trigger checks a gate climax, you can draw 1. If you do, choose a card in your hand and put it in your waiting room. And then you can rest, activate, choose one of your game characters, and that character gets plus in your power. 2 copies of Flare Excel Me on play. Pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck for a character, and you can also minus 1,000 power on the center stage of one of your opponent's characters. 2 copies of Events Bonus Sally. When you cannot play events or backup from hand. When this card is placed on stage, put the top 2 cards of your deck in your waiting room, and this card gets X power. X equals to the number of game characters among those cards times 1,000. 2 copies of your Climax Swapper. That's 3K. Downside is can't side attack. 4 copies of Super Speed Sally. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If it's a game character, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage and has auto accelerate at the beginning of your climax phase. You can take a hit. If you do, this gets plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. 2 copies of Awaken Oboro. On attack, it can pump another character, 500 power times the number of other game characters. 2 copies of Shield and Buckler Maple and Sally, which is a level downer. 4 copies of your level 1 combo. Moment Between the Two Sally. When your climax is placed on your climax area, this card gets plus 3,000 power, and when this card attacks, if Never Ending Sunset is in your climax area and you have another game character, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room, choose up to 1 level extra lower character in your waiting room, return to your hand. X equals to the total level of cards put into your waiting room by this card's effect. Then 2 different backups. I'm running one of the green one and one of the red one. Red one is an early play backup punish, and this one is when you use this card's backup, put X cards from the bottom of your opponent's deck into your waiting room. X equals the number of game characters you have. So it's that. 2 copies of Sword Dance Sally. It has experience during your turn. If the total level of cards in your level is 5 or higher, this gets plus 6,000 power. And when this card is placed on stage from your hand, all players perform the following action. If your memory has 5 or more cards, choose up to 4 cards in your memory and put all cards except those cards into your waiting room. So kind of memory punish. 2 copies of Maxing Out Maple. When this card attacks, if you have 4 more other game characters, choose one of your characters, and that character has plus 1,000 plus 2 soul until end of turn. During your opponent's turn, when this card becomes reverse in battle, you can discard a card, and it comes back as rest, and then dies at the next encore step. 4 copies of the Guardian Angel Maple. It has an early play condition where if that card is in your clock, you can early play this. If all your characters are game character, it gets plus 1,000 power, and when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can choose a game character in your clock and put it at the bottom of your deck, so it heals to the bottom of your deck. You're running 1 copy of Machine Gun Maple just for the stock wash effect. You don't use the climax combo. Okay, 1 copy of Replica of the Dark Knight Maple. This card cannot be chosen by your opponent's effects. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, look up to X cards from the top of your deck, choose to 1 card from one limp in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. X equals the number of game characters you have. So just to help grab something if you need it at the end. And then 4 copies of your finisher, level 3. Rumored Player in Blue, Sally. It has continuous experience. If the total level of cards in your level is 6 or higher, this gets plus 1,500 power continuous. And climax combo, when this card attacks, if Azure Gleam of Her Eyes is in your climax area, you may put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. If you do, deal X damage to your opponent, and this card gets plus 1,000 power until end of turn. X equals the level of the card put into the waiting room by this ability's cost. And you're running last cards are the 8 climax cards. 4 copies of Never Ending Sunset, which is your gate climax for your level 1 combo, and 4 copies of Azure Gleam of Rise. When this card is placed on stage, when this card is placed on your climax area from your hand, choose up to 1 character with Soul Trigger icon in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Choose up to 2 of your characters, and those characters get +1 soul. Alright, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, check EncoreDecks.com in the link in the description below to see an overview of this deck build.